What if death did not arrive as silence, but as sound, the soft pat of paws on a midnight road, the rasp of breath in the fog, and the sudden gleam of burning eyes?
I'm gonna tell y'all why we diving into this. We diving into this because I was watching something the other day, and this is not the first time I heard it, but I wasn't sure. I was watching something the other day from my boy on Twitter. I am Hefe. I am Hefe. And he was doing that reaction. Well, it wasn't a reaction, but it was more so like a y'all know he do like a TikTok prompt type deal. And he had one on there, and basically it was this lady, it was these few ladies in the picture, and basically like the black dog was, I think basically like he was like running through on the side of one of them, like in between the two of them. And basically it was saying like, it's like a lore that something evil or something is going, or not something evil. Well, yeah, something like evil could happen or something bad is going to happen to that person, or something bad has happened or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just want to do like research on it and see what it was about. Cause like I said, I've heard of it before, and I was like, nah, they gotta be cap. So when I heard about it again in his, in his, comp or whatever, I was like, yeah, maybe I should look into that. So, here we are. We looking into that, trying to figure out what's going on with it. So y'all wanna know why we dived into this? Yeah, that's why we dived into it. Oh, and y'all already know the slogan too, man. From the beginning, stay in your shit, man. 2026, stay on your shit. 2026, man. Let's go.
Staring from the darkness. In villages scattered across England, in the lonely hills of Ireland, in the shadowed forests of France, the legend has been whispered for centuries. A colossal black hound. Larger than any natural beast cloaked in shadows, its eyes glowing like embers torn from the underworld. They call it the Black Dog. Some name it Shuck, others Tu Cid, still others the Chen Noir, but always. It is the same Omen. To see the creature is to brush against the veil of mortality itself. Those who encounter it seldom live long after. The Black Dog prowls at thresholds, churchyards, ruined abbeys, places where the world of the living thins, and the presence of the dead presses close. Witnesses speak of its size, the weight of its stare, the chill in the air, as if the hound carries the grave's breath with it. In some tales, it lunges with fury, its claws leaving scorched marks on wood and stone. In others, it does not attack at all, but simply follows, silently, patiently, till the victim's fate finds them days later. Is it demon, guardian, or just the mind-conjuring terrors out of mist? Or perhaps all of these at once?
Pretty much that's what it was saying. That's what the girl was saying. The girl was saying like, usually when you see this in the picture, it's not good at all. She was like, and then basically, like she said, she was basically saying what I had said before, and basically she was like, I would be surprised if either of these ladies are still living. Whoever this Omen was connected to, I would be surprised if they still alive. She was like, I wonder if these two, either out of these two ladies, would they be alive right now? Type shit like that.
Black Dog not merely a
But
story,
I don't think the ladies were. I don't think it was like an old picture. So you know what I'm saying?
but a symbol, a guide, a harbinger whose appearance is never without consequence. And so the question lingers. When you walk alone at night and hear footsteps behind you, is it your own echo or has the Black Dog already chosen to walk beside you? The story begins not in a single place, but across a landscape veiled in mist and steeped in superstition, where the boundaries between the sacred and the profane, the living and the dead, were never as secure as people wished them to be. Imagine England in the late 16th century, a land of windswept coasts, ruined abbeys, and lonely roads carved through heath and marsh. In Norfolk, the church bells tolled against the roar of a storm as villagers whispered a black shuck, the monstrous hound said to stalk the countryside with eyes like burning coals. Ireland, too, told of its own apparition, the Tool, Sida, a spectral dog of the Fy, who ran along hills and graveyards, a dark messenger heralding the imminent approach of death. In France, they whispered of the Chien Noir, whose presence haunted the lonely lanes near Brittany, moving like a shadow before calamity struck. Each tale bore a different name. The figure remained constant. The black
that shit will fuck me up for eternity. I would be fucked up. Imagine you just walking into the blink of an eye and you just see, you just look. Oh shit! You see a motherfucker slit, fucking big ass fucking hound dog with fucking slit in his eyes with fucking look like the fucking Mothman eyes. Man, I would fucking lose it. Oh shit.
black dog was never just an animal, but a sign. A mythic warning that destiny's hand was about to fall, and to understand why such a creature took root in the minds of peasants, clergy, and nobles alike. One must enter their world, a world where shadows stretched long from flickering torchlight, where the howl of wolves in the distance carried reminders of wilderness pressing against the fragile order of villages, and where disease, famine, and sudden death were constant companions. Death was not an abstraction, but a daily visitor. People sought to explain its mysterious rhythms and symbols they could recognize. The black dog became one such symbol, emerging as a guardian of liminal spaces. Churches were not merely sanctuaries, but thresholds. Crossroads were not simply intersections of roads, but crossings of fate. Ruins were not just remnants of stone, but scars upon the landscape, reminders of broken covenants between man and the divine. These were the places where the hound appeared, where the veil was thin, and the boundaries between life and death most fragile. Eyewitness accounts added layers of terror to the legend. The most infamous occurred in 1577 in the town of Bungay, Suffolk. As thunder split the sky and lightning tore across the steeple of St. Mary's Church, a massive black hound was said to have burst through the doors, striking down parishioners in their pews. The beast moved with unnatural speed, its claws raking the wooden doors, leaving burn marks still whispered to exist centuries later. The same night, a similar apparition appeared in Blithburg, tearing through another church, leaving the congregation trembling in the darkness. For villagers, the event was no mere storm, which was proof that the black dog was real, a supernatural force stalking even the holiest of spaces. But the presence of the black dog was not confined to isolated events. Generations of farmers claim to have glimpsed the beast pacing the edges of their fields during harvest, its eyes glowing through the night as though watching, waiting. Fishermen spoke of hearing low growls on the cliffs as they set sail, fearing the voyage would be their last. Travelers crossing the moors recounted the unnerving sensation of being followed, the pad of paws echoing behind them, though no hound could be seen when they turned. The details were always consistent: the immense size, the gleam of crimson eyes, the air heavy with dread. These stories wove themselves into the daily life of communities, whispered around hearth fires and carved into the collective imagination as warnings and omens. It is crucial to recognize that in European folklore, dogs were not merely companions or hunters, but boundary creatures, mediators between realms. They guarded homes, herded flocks, but also